Alright, so previously, y'all have been talking about classification. Can anybody tell me what classification is? Back. Make sure you talk loud.
A graph to describe something?
Well, it doesn't have to be a graph. Classification is where you take organisms or any non-living or living thing and you sort them into groups based on different characteristics. Alright, so since you've been doing that, we're going to learn about dichotomous keys today, which you can use to classify. So somebody read to me what a dichotomous key is. Go ahead.
Dichotomous keys are tools that help you to identify living and non-living things.
Go ahead.
The word dichotomous comes from two Greek words that together make divided into two parts. In each step of dichotomous key, two choices are given the directions for what to do next. Each choice leads either to another choice or the identity of the object or organism. Some dichotomous keys are list of a question until some look more like charts. There are two examples.
Okay, so one thing you want to pay close attention to is where it says it's divided into two parts, which you see here. It says, does it have 8 legs? And then it's divided off. Alright, then on this one, it's the same thing. You have steps, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, but they are both divided into two parts. Here it says writes with ink, here it writes without ink. Alright, so we're going to do one together. Oh, I went past it. Y'all don't look at me. Alright, it says how to use a dichotomous key. Alright, so for the directions, it says choose one creature to start with. Read steps 1A to 1B. Alright, so somebody pick a creature. It doesn't matter to me if we start with 6-3. Alright, go ahead, give me a creature. The snake. So we're going to start with 1. So what you do, you look at 1 and you say, does it have a backbone or no backbone? Which one is it?
No backbone.
No backbone. So then what do?
Go to 5.
Go to 5. Alright, so then it says, does it have an antenna? Alright, wait, let's think about this for a second.
Yes.
I didn't think about a snake. It does have a backbone. I'm sorry. Alright, so if it has a backbone, you go to where? Alright, so then you say, does it have wings or no wings?
No wings.
No wings, so go to 3. Alright, does it have legs or no legs?
No legs.
Alright, so it is a snake. Alright, so let's do one more, and I think y'all pretty much got it. Alright, go ahead. Alright, we're going to do 6. Alright, so let's look. It says, on the first step, does it have a backbone or no backbone?
Backbone.
Backbone, so go to 2. Does it have wings or no wings?
Wings.
Wings. Alright, we won't do any more than that because y'all have it. But what I do want y'all to notice is that you don't have to have a long list of steps. Some of them that you'll see, they might have 25 steps you've got to go through. But I just wanted you to know that so when you make your own with your charts that you have on your desk, you don't have to make it where you've got to go to 5 different steps to get to it. If it doesn't have but 3, that's okay too. Alright, so what do you notice that we're using to make dichotomous key?
Animals.
Animals. Do you have to just use animals?
No.
No. What's some other things you might use?
Anything living or non-living?
Yeah, anything living or non-living. So you can do it with cars. You could do it with students. Like for instance, if we were going to use this table, and I was going to make a dichotomous key with students, I could say, okay, my first step would be, are they male or female? Okay, and then another characteristic I may look at next is, do they have on tennis shoes or sandals? And then something else I may look at will be, do they have straight hair, curly hair? You just find different characteristics that you would look at to form your dichotomous key. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to watch the video over here. I'm sorry I can't get it up there, it won't load. But we're going to watch this, and we can pass it back here. You will get 1 per table. You need to pick a rider while I'm getting this up. Pick your rider. And you need to go ahead and put everybody's name on the paper that's in a group. Alright, when you have everybody's name, if you'll everybody put your pencils down or the riders, that way I'll know it's time to go on. I'm gonna wait on you before I read the directions. Alright, while y'all are doing that, how many of y'all have did things with dichotomous keys in other grades? Y'all remember it? What grade was it? 4. Alright, we ready? Alright, so I'm going to read this to you first, and then it will go in the big screen. And if you need to move once it starts, then we'll pause it enough time where you can move. Alright, it says, one dark and stormy evening, a group of people was gathered at an enormous mansion owned by William the Victim. A massive storm approached, and as the thunder roared, the power went out. During the 10 minutes of extreme darkness, a blood-curdling scream rang out. When the lights came on, Mr. the Victim was found dead in a pool with his own blood. The police came immediately and spoke with each individual. Move on to the next section to discover what their statements to the police revealed and to see if you can find the person who committed the crime. Alright, first of all, before we get started, I'm going to have trouble with these names. I tried to pronounce them all night last night and I did not make it, so we'll just go with what I say and I'll try to get as close as possible. Alright, so this is where you're going to need to have your paper ready. Alright, and this is what it says. It says, to determine who committed this crime, you will need the information gathered from detectives on the scene. Each potential suspect was thoroughly interviewed. Alright, and we're going to use this paper to write down clues as we watch the video. Alright, so, and what you need to remember, you're looking for characteristics such as maybe hair color. We might be looking at, like the type of job they have. It also says down here, it asks like, do they have medical training? Their ability to hold the victim, you know what I mean? If it's like a little woman that's not this big and the victim's like that tall, it's highly unlikely that she was able to hold the victim. You see what I'm saying? That's what it's asking. So just write down as many characteristics as you can think of. And I'll stop it along the way, that way you can talk about it with your table. Alright. Ready? Wait. You got a body down again. Alright, I'll start it over. Okay, so, and I'll kind of go over it with y'all because I know the volume isn't working very well. But a few things you might have there is that he is the CEO of DB Enterprises. Something else to talk about was he had failing health, and there seemed to be no specific threats. But do you see what I mean? Like, you're just putting down characteristics that it's listed here. Basically, it's like taking notes in class. Alright, so you can talk with your group and get together and figure out what y'all want to put in that. I'll give you about 30 seconds. Shouldn't take more than that.
We can see.
Turn the light on. Alright, so let's go on. Alright, so make sure y'all stay really, really quiet, especially for those in the back, so they can hear.
Suspect number 1, Molly Daggers. Molly Daggers was the deceased nurse for the past 5.5 years. She lives in his home and has done so since she began this position. She is incredibly distraught from her death and has wept uncontrollably at times. Ms. Daggers monitored.
Okay, before we go on, what do you notice? Just looking at her, tell me something you notice. She's got brown hair, so see that would be a characteristic that I would list under her name. And you know, it talked about she,
Lives in the house with him.
yes, she lives in a house with him, she cried uncontrollably. You know, just different things like that is what you're looking for. Yes, it also said she had medical training, she is his nurse. All right, and I'll give y'all some more time to go back again after we watch it. All right, so here's the next one. If y'all in the back, if you are having trouble hearing it, because I mean it's not going to work right now, you are more than welcome to move up if you need to. Just kind of scoot your chairs up, maybe. That's fine if y'all need to scoot them up a little bit. All right, we ready? Now we're just going to make sure we sit down. All right, here we go.
Plans and medication for the daily basis. And her death. One day, each day. She was the person woken up and read to the victim in a state in his will. She has more than $40,000 in student loan debt and is being diagnosed with depression.
All right, did y'all get the name? Jose Criminale. All right, here we go. Make sure you just stay really quiet. y'all time afterwards to go back and talk about the rest of your table, so. All right, we'll start at that. Okay, all right. Like I said, I'm sorry for the sound. It was working just fine before y'all got here, so I don't know what happened. But, now what you need to do quietly is discuss with your table and make sure you have everything that you think you need to know written down on your chart. And then we're going to do what's on the board as soon as y'all get finished. All right, let me ask before we even do that, who do y'all think it was?
The old lady, Joseph, the one
All
that
right, so y'all say the old lady? What do y'all think?
I think it's
the old lady.
Okay.
Teachers, pardon the interruption. Just need to let the middle school cheerleaders know there will be practice at the elementary school this afternoon. And then another announcement, middle school softball practice has been canceled for this afternoon. Middle school softball practice has been canceled. Thank you.
All right, so which suspect, and raise your hand. All right, which suspect do y'all want to try first? And this is how you use the dichotomous key. And this just goes to show you, it doesn't just have to be with animals or things like that. It can also be used with mysteries such as these. All right, which one do y'all want to use first? All right, let's see. Jose, Denali. Okay. All right, so first thing we need to ask ourselves is, does the suspect have black? Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. There we go. All right. Does the suspect have black, brown, or brownish red hair? Or does the suspect have blonde or gray hair? So that's the first step. Which one is it going to be? What color hair did he have? Okay, so then what do we do next? Go to 2. And then it says the suspect has financial incentive for killing the victim, or the suspect has no financial motives. Has financial incentives?
Yes.
So then where do we go next? 3. Okay, the suspect has medical training, the suspect has no medical training. No medical training, so we can eliminate that one, so you put an X by it. Alright, so now I'm going to give you a few minutes to do the rest of them with your table, and then we'll go over who actually did it when you get through. I think there's a lot of them that had a lot of booze, but no, it's only gonna be one.
I could have thought somebody could there. Because he wanted to see.
That's what I thought too when I tried it. But.
I think it was I think it was she was glad he was dead.
What? Think about it.
Oh, what color hair does he have? That's what I always says that.
Alright, I'm gonna turn the lights back on, then we're done with the video part of it. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about it for a second. I know a lot of people thought that the criminality was going to be who it was, but based on what you've done with the dichotomous keys, raise your hand if you think it was Angie. Andrew? Molly? Alright, who did y'all think of? Y'all got Molly too? What did you wind up with? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and keep going so we don't run out of time. Alright, the next thing that we're going to do is you are going to make your own dichotomous key. So I'm going to give you some directions up on the board. Or actually, let me go ahead and do this first. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm getting ahead of myself. Alright, yes, Molly Daggers get it. Alright, and it says, what's amazing is that you just learned a bit about science while you crack the fictional case. The key you used to determine who the criminal was is called a what? Dichotomous key. Alright, a dichotomous key is like a puzzle with steps that are followed. These are generally used in science to classify what? Plants. Based on? Alright, so this is just kind of showing you what else you can use. Yes, it showed. Alright, so this is just showing how they use plants and things. There was a quiz that was supposed to go along with this, but just like the video is no longer working on here, neither is the quiz. So we'll have to go on from that. Alright, let's see if the other page is working. Alright, here we go. We may come back to that one if we have time. Alright, how to make a dichotomous key. Alright, so somebody start reading us the first bullet of directions. Alright, somebody that has it, you have it read. Go ahead. Alright, so that's the first thing you're going to need to do. But in our case, when you are doing yours, you're going to carefully observe the traits of each kingdom. Alright, this is showing you an example using the animals. But when you're doing it on your paper, you're going to be using the kingdoms. So you're going to be using the characteristics such as the type of cell, number of cells, cellular structure. Alright, and then tell me what the next one says. Go ahead.
Make a list of the traits you can use to solve.
Alright, so when you make that list of traits, you don't have to use every one. Okay, this is just to kind of help you understand how to make a dichotomous key, how to use it, and help you study for your kingdoms quiz as well that y'all have on Friday. Alright, so then what does the next one say? Go ahead. Yes. Okay, for the animals above and this might look like this. This is just showing what you could use. Number of legs, body covering, backbone. But as I said, on your chart, what I read off will be what you use, those characteristics. Alright, read me the next one. Go ahead. Okay, so then what it did here is it took, like, for this one, you can say scales or no scales. Which one would it be? It's gonna have scales. Alright, then you may say, like it did earlier with, your next characteristic you may have chosen is to decide whether or not it has a backbone. So you put backbone, no backbone, and then you tell us what step to go to, or either you would be at the last step, which would tell you what the animal is. Does that make sense? Yes? Give me a thumbs up, yes? Some of y'all are just kind of nodding your head anyway, so I'm not real sure. Alright, here we go. And then it says, now look at all the animals with the scales and choose another trait from the list to further separate them. So then you've used the scales, you would cross that out and maybe go to number of legs as your next one. Okay? And then you just do that so on and so forth until you have used all of the kingdoms on your chart. Alright, does that make sense? Everybody get what I'm saying? Alright, so I'm going to start by letting y'all get started, and then we may go over one together when I see somebody has completed it. Okay? Alright, so do it on the back of the paper that you already have. Your writer has it. Do it on the back of that. I'm going to take this paper up. Yes.
I use these.
Alright, let me make sure, because I may not make it clear.
Miss Wilson, would you call the middle school front office, Miss Wilson?
Alright, you do not use this. This is just basically giving you an example as if you were going to be using these animals. You're using your charts that you have on your desk. Y'all got it? Okay, so these are your characteristics, right? So it tells you there, the first thing you do is make a list of traits you can sort down with. Alright, so look, it tells you the type of cell, number of cells, so there's all the characteristics that you can use. You don't have to use all of them. Okay, and then, like for instance, you may start off saying, maybe you're wanting to find these two, and I'm choosing two, you got to use all of them. So, you might say, is prokaryotic, eukaryotic. And then if it is prokaryotic, go to step 2. Okay, these are your prokaryotes. And then put is it unicellular, multicellular. Well, let's go then go to step 3. And then here, always have a cell wall, may not have a cell wall. So then the may not have a cell wall would be what? Okay, back here. See what I'm saying? And you just keep going down the list until you get all of them. And y'all remember, you don't have to write it in a list like that. Remember at the very beginning, I showed y'all some that were done with the, kind of like a concept map almost. You can do it like that. You can do it with pictures. It doesn't always have to be done in lists.
Didn't you say we can make our own?
It just has to have, use those. Yeah, you've got to use all kingdoms. This is pretty much, these would be your animals if you were doing animals. Like see the animals up there, 1 through 6? These would be like your animals, and then the characteristics that you see on those animals that you want to use is going to be like these.
But instead of these, we're
Yeah, like, that's the type of characteristic you're going to look at. So you may say, for your first part, prokaryotic or eukaryotic. If it's prokaryotic, go to step 2. Is it unicellular? No, you can't go there because we're going to have one study there. So you may say, does it have a cell wall? Or, yeah, so you can say, does it have always a cell wall? Or or something. And then you go to step 3 and it says something else. You see what I'm saying? And eventually using these, you've got to wind up there to the archaic activity. And I'm gonna pull up another one. Alright, and I just mentioned this to one group. Everybody look this way really fast. Alright, think these animals right here, they are just like your kingdoms. Think of that as your kingdoms. So just like you use the animals here, you'll use your kingdoms the same way. And then you remember this right here is stuff that was used to describe these animals, right? So your characteristics that are listed going down the side right here, that is what is being used to describe these kingdoms, just like these are used to describe the animals. Does that make sense? So you're using it the same exact way. The only difference is you're using kingdoms, not animals. All right, go ahead. All right. You can do it like that. You can do it like it is up there.
Let me see this.
And I have examples where I'll see if I can get it pulled up on the screen, like what you have. And for those of you doing it with the list, this is what it would kind of look like. This is just kind of showing you. Step 1 is going to have A and B. Step 2, A and B. If you tell me either you stop at step 1 and that tells you the organism, or if it doesn't, you need to keep going, then you tell me what step to go through next. Alright, hold on one second. Let me plug this up real quick. Alright, this is what some of you were wanting to do. See how it says, does it have 8 legs or less? Yes or no? And then on yes, does it have 6 legs? Yes or no? See how it goes down and then eventually goes to the organism? That's just another way of doing it, but it means the same thing. We solved it? But they got like you got remember you don't have any watch. Can you help us start for each name? What? Alright, I'm going to give you about another minute by yourself, and then we'll look at some of them, and I'm going to help y'all to keep going with it. Yes. Okay. First of all, you got to pick one. You're trying to get an argument, right? Alright, so say you're only going to use these. So get the argument. So do the opposite. Prokaryote, then you might say, go to step 2. Okay. And then go to step 2. Then go to multi-step. Since it's union cells, you might say, alright. And then you're going to use, alright, then it says, is it going to have cell wall? May have cell wall or it's not. And then, like, one of them will always have cell wall, one of them. Then you may say, okay, if it is, then it goes to alright, and then that may be the last person on you, so that should make our page. Then you're gonna go back up to the top and go to the next one.
They have several.
Is it periodic or periodic? Alright, go to step 2. We're gonna do that. If it's a schedule, it is unicellular. We'll say this one is because then you so then remember how I said most of the time I have cell wall, always have cell wall, and if you stop here, for most of the time I have cell wall, that would be that. Then you go to the next one. Eukaryotes, prokaryotes, eukaryotes. It's going to be eukaryotes. So each step is going to be multicellular or unicellular. Okay? Most of the time, what we go with, looks like unicellular. So step 3. Alright, then it says the cellular structure has a cellular. And then you can just keep going down until you went through every one of your characteristics to find that specific one. That makes more sense. And you might want to look, some of them will be like here. So that way, each characteristic